Yo, what's up, guys? We're back for another breakdown and predictions video. And this week, man, we got UFC 292. We got one of the bigger pay-per-view cards this year. So definitely pumped up, ready for it. And coming off another successful event where we cashed on the Dana White Contender Series. So, man, like I said on the Dana White Contender Series video, we've been doing really well. We've been winning a lot of bets recently and making a good bit of money. So if you're not on the Patreon, I don't know what you're doing, man. You should go over there. You should get access to those breakdowns. You should start building a bankroll, making some money, and enjoying some fights and cashing some bets. So definitely think you should go over there, support the channel, patreon.com/MMAPredictionGuru, and I got 8 bets already for this UFC card. I got some underdog bets and feeling pretty confident this week. So definitely urge you guys to go over there and make yourself some money, because I definitely think we're going to be cashing at the betting window at the end of the night. But besides that, man, hit the like button, put some comments down below. Let's try to blow this video up, get a little bit more interaction. I would really appreciate that. And another thing, I'm actually going to be doing a video tomorrow on Addicted to Combat's page. We're going to be doing a breakdown for this card. So if you don't know his channel, go check it out and subscribe so you can go watch that tomorrow. And it's going to be a fun time breaking down the card with him. He's a really good bettor and predictor here also on YouTube. But let's get in this first fight of the night, man. We got Maryna Moroz. She's taking on Karine Silva. And this is a very interesting fight. I mean, it's a rematch. Maryna Moroz, she's looking to kind of work her way back into the mix. She was ranked. She was going in against a top 10 opponent in Jennifer Maia. She was on a 3-fight win streak. And she ended up losing that fight. So fell out of the rankings. And really the major issue with Moroz hasn't been her performances, but just her inactivity. She's had more canceled fights than scheduled fights in the UFC just since 2020, or than fights that she's actually fought. Just since 2020, Moroz has had to pull out of 6 different fights. This will be her first fight of 2023, and hopefully she can get to the cage and fight again this year. Overall, though, she's done well in the UFC. She just has to get a little bit more active if she wants to get back in that top 10 picture. And Karine Silva, she's 29 years old, so she's young. She's up and coming. She's won 7 fights in a row. She's undefeated in the UFC with 2 first-round submission finishes. And she's obviously peaking right now, very dangerous. Beating Maryna Moroz will get her to that next level in terms of probably a top 10 opponent next. And it'll avenge a loss that she had early in her career to Maryna Moroz, where Maryna Moroz and Karine Silva, they actually fought in 2014, and Moroz got the armbar submission win in the first round. So now a little bit older, wiser, a better fighter. Silva's looking to come back and even the score here. And when you look at Karine Silva, she's been very impressive. She's one of the most athletic and powerful girls in the division, I would say. She's aggressive. She's explosive early. She throws fast, heavy kicks. She has clean 1-2s. Her footwork is solid. She has good foot speed, too, when she's fresh. She doesn't have the greatest striking, but she's a handful with her speed, power. She throws good straight punches. She could potentially struggle, I believe, against a more crafty striker long term. I think she slows down, and we're going to probably figure that out in this match with Maryna Moroz. Silva does tend to get the job done early. So if that doesn't happen here, then I do think that even though she's the more dangerous striker, Moroz will be the more effective striker over 15 minutes. But Karine Silva is a very good grappler. She times her takedowns well. She has explosive double legs. She'll get girls against the cage and take them down from there. And once Silva can get on top, she's aggressive with her submission game. She's been able to submit her last 6 opponents in a row. And most of Silva's finishes on the ground are either front chokes or leg locks. She also has a couple arm bars. The last time Silva got submitted, it actually came via knee bar, and I think she took that a little personally because before that loss, she hadn't earned a leg lock win in her pro career. But since then, she's gotten 2 leg lock finishes. Her last fight, we saw her tear Ketlin Souza's knee apart with the knee bar. So it's going to be interesting to see if Silva wants to test herself on the ground again, though, with Maryna Moroz, or just try to keep it standing, because the first fight between these two, I think you can really just throw away. It was 9 years ago. Both fighters are very different now. But the way that fight went down, just to give context, was Maryna Moroz pulled guard very early in the fight, within 5-10 seconds of the fight, started fishing for her trademark armbar, and after a couple minutes, she ended up armbarring Karine Silva in the first 2 minutes of the fight. So Silva, she has lost 2 of her 4 fights via submission. Her last submission loss was 6 years ago, and it was also before her streak of submission victories. So you could tell she's leveled up her grappling. Cardio is certainly a question mark for Silva. She has to prove she can beat a girl in this top 15 level too. If you look at her record, she's finished all 16 of her wins, 12 in the first round, 4 in the second round, and then she's 0-2 in fights that have made it to round 3. So that's something that you have to keep an eye on here, especially with Maryna Moroz having never been finished in her career. And Maryna Moroz, she's an underrated fighter. On the feet, she's extremely active. She likes to point fight. She'll throw a lot of air balls where she's just throwing shots to the air, but she's still throwing. And she has fast jabs, straight punches. She'll attack the body really well. She chips away with leg kicks and just has a lot of activity. And she has solid defense. She has a really good chin. She's only been dropped 1 time in her whole UFC career. She's never been finished. Her kicking defense and ability to catch kicks, I think, could be a factor here. She could catch a kick of Silva and get her down and control in that top position, tire Silva out. But I also think Silva has a chance to get to Moroz a little bit with leg kicks because Moroz does have some issues with that. But Moroz is an underrated grappler, man. She's improved her wrestling. She isn't the most explosive fighter, but good clinch takedowns or double legs are better than they used to be. And when she gets in the top position, she's very heavy, and her ground and pound is on point. She is, for all that she gets, discredited for being kind of a point fighter on the feet, on the ground she throws heavy elbows, and she's going for the finish. And I believe with even with the submission threat that Silva poses, she's going to be comfortable there. I don't think she's going to be too worried about getting submitted from bottom position against Silva. She just has to be a little bit cognizant, obviously, of that threat, the leg locks, and if she ends up in a weird position where she shoots a bad takedown, the front chokes, she has to be aware of that. But I think, obviously, Moroz has shown that her guard, she's underrated with that, and she can catch Silva even off her back. And I feel like cardio for Moroz, she has a big advantage. I think grappling, she has an advantage. And I feel like Moroz, she beat Silva before. She, in my opinion, is the faster girl. She throws more volume. Her grappling is overall superior. I think she has the edge in the cardio. We know Moroz is going to keep the pace and fight hard for 3 rounds, whereas I question that for Silva. Moroz has never been finished, whereas Silva has finished all her wins. And Moroz is coming off a loss, but it's to a top 5 fighter in the world. Moroz has done well, beating a lot of similar style girls to Karine Silva. Maybe not similar style, but girls that are finisher girls, like Maria Agapova, Mayra Bueno Silva, these dangerous fighters. Moroz has been able to nullify them and beat them. So I think she's either going to win by decision or even finish in the later rounds. I could see her getting another submission on Silva. I feel like this is a make or break fight for Moroz's career. If Moroz loses this, she has zero chance to move up and compete with high level fighters in the weight, really. Karine Silva, she's still new, fresh in the UFC. She has a more fan friendly style that's going to get her bigger opportunities. And I expect Moroz to bounce back here, surprise some people, and cast as the underdog. And I think Karine Silva will be back, but I just feel like it's a bigger fight career trajectory-wise for Moroz. And I think Moroz just has some, intangibles, and not even intangibles, just some skills that Karine Silva is going to struggle with. So I'm going to go with Maryna Moroz to make it 2-0 against Karine Silva in this one and get the victory.